What up, nerds in the simulation? Oh my, did you get canceled again today? Did somebody make something up? Did somebody twist your words and turn it into a weapon against you? Did somebody take your silence and have that mean something that they could turn to use against you? Maybe it was your skin color. Maybe it's your faith. Maybe it's the city, state, or country that you're born in, but for the insurgents working on behalf of the Chinese Communist Party, the cartels, and radical Islamic jihad, they don't care. And guess what, folks? Let it go by the wayside. They're going to delete you. They're going to mute you. They're going to expose how much they hate you and America by their very actions. And I know, because I know all of them. The best part about being great at stand-up is you get to do stand-up with people all over the country. The best part about knowing that George Bush was a warmonger was even better knowing that by the second year of Barack Obama's presidency, you realize that he was carrying the water for the Clintons and the Bushes in this, well, orchestrated laying down of the United States of America so it could be conquered and moved to their needed second place. They needed, instead of America to have American supremacy, to be the key enterprise. They had already sold their offices and sold you out to allow for these insurgencies to come in, to damage institutions, to damage the founding documents, to damage truth itself. And it does not matter how they go about it, as long as it gets done. So me, as a stand-up, I said, okay, I get it. War on terror is shitty. Patriot Act sucks. George Bush and his family are a bunch of clowns. Who are they working with? And at some point you had to realize, oh, whoa, this is not about greatness. This is about a controlled loss. And what happened during all that time is I got to work with stand-ups all over the country from different walks of life and different belief patterns, and we shook hands and hugged and broke bread and did shows with each other. And then all of a sudden, the election happens. And everything changes. Depersoned, others, the lies. And what's so hilarious about this is that with each new lie that comes out, the same group runs into the insurgency, because the insurgency is about the combination of corporate power. They realize that their careers hinge on this combination of corporate power, and they all run to every single buzz thing that's brought up. If it's Russiagate, if it's impeachment, if it's COVID, it's wear a mask, it's Black Lives Matter. And God bless you, guess what? Black lives do matter. And Black lives can only matter because all lives matter. And because all lives matter, then Black lives matter, then white lives matter, then Asian lives matter. Then you would get to a standpoint where everyone would raise their hand like, look, we are all on the same page here, that life matters. And everyone go, yeah. And they go, why are we still talking about this? Because it's a trap, because it's a fundraising ploy for the DNC. They took in millions and millions and millions of dollars and funneled it straight into the DNC, straight into Joe Biden's campaign. How much went to, quote unquote, bailing out people? $200,000 out of the millions and millions and millions that have brought in. If that's not reason enough to think that you may have chosen the wrong side of history here by going against the United States of America and by siding with the insurgency who is here to enslave you, it's very, very simple. Look at who you can't critique. Can't critique China. Can't critique the mask. You can't critique Muhammad. You can't critique what's the newest. You can't critique Black Lives Matter. Again, the thing that you cannot critique because you'll be silenced. This should be a great sign for you to say, oh yeah, I'm over target. And when you're over target, keep throwing the haymakers because they want you fucking dead. They want the police to stay home. They want lawlessness to run the streets. They want to be able to openly run insurgency programs, including domestic terror, including kidnapping and murder and the theft of your property, the very taking of your life, folks. They are, again, they're not stopping with gestures. They're not stopping with statues. They're going to, again, point to an oppressor and say, go get him, not realizing that one day they will then be that same oppressor and someone will go get them. And then who's going to come save them then? Nobody. You're a comic and you love doing stand-up in a building that employs police officers to keep the public and you safe. And now you can't have police officers inside of that building, except the city's going to tell the business to have police officers inside of the building, which then gives people the opportunity to say that that's not safe. And then they're going to come after your venue. And then they're going to come after you because you're in that venue. And who are you going to call? Nobody. Because you didn't prepare. You didn't arm yourself, and you weren't with the good guys on this. You were on the consolidation of power inside of the insurgency because it was good for your business. You are now caught up and complicit in the purposeful allowing of this country to be subverted. Now what are you going to do? You're screwed. Again, I watched you. We ate dinner together. We hugged and we shook hands. And as soon as you disagreed, you created an enemy and you deplatformed, you demonetized, you took business from, never considering what the boomerang would look like in your reality. And it is coming, ladies and gentlemen. What's being laid out and what's being exposed on a daily basis now is that these racist plantation owners who have been using media to manipulate people to then use that grift to steal your money, to consolidate their power, is being exposed. Day in and day out. Again, Black Lives Matters. Of course it does. Your ability to protest. God bless you, please do. Your ability to assemble and worship your religion. God bless you. Your ability to go out and wage violence? Not so much. Remember, there's always somebody bigger, so you better watch out. I believe a hardcore band said that one time. This is not the hill to die on. This garbage, Antifa, the new pile of garbage that they built a wall around. Again, look at the hypocrisy that's laid out, okay? You went from a 4D war space into occupying territory that you had to build a wall around and then arm yourselves to protect while claiming walls are racist and guns are bad. Okay. You said George Bush was a warmonger, and now you're in bed with John Bolton. John Bolton, a known warmonger. John Bolton, hands down complicit in the purposeful destruction of the United States. And now you're on his side? You're on W's side? That's where you found yourself. Because in the doubling down, in your belief that your enemy was dumb, your enemy didn't have any tactics, your enemy didn't have any moves or support, because that's what culture told you to believe. And if you didn't believe exactly what they said, if you didn't take the knee, then you would be labeled another. And so you didn't. And now you're in bed with legit warmongers. You're in bed with legit people pushing the Communist Party of China's propaganda and carrying their water. And it's all very exposed. Look at the hypocrisy. You built a wall and you armed yourselves. You aligned yourselves with a warmonger like John Bolton, who's pitching what lie? What's the biggest lie that undoes all of this? Is that Donald Trump asked China for help and told Xi Jinping to build concentration camps for Uyghurs. Remember, the CCP and Xi never admits that there are concentration camps. They would never in a million years admit that. But your wanting and your needing and your believing, your loathing of the opposition blinds you to the obvious hypocrisy that you find yourself now supporting. So give your money to your causes. Watch it be stolen, okay? Again, if you want to donate to us right here, go to johntoll.net. All right, if you want to go to the big cartel page, use one of the America First, or PCD, whatever it is. The three of them there. You can use those promo codes to take 27% off PC Death Squad T-shirts and Pit Boss 2000 and PC Death Squad hats. Send my fat ass to the post office, and I'll send you some fun stuff along with it. All right, how about that? Does that sound like something that we can work together to get done? Why not? Because we're on the right side here, folks, as people of faith, preserving our First Amendment, our Second Amendment, the Constitution, and keeping an America First liberty platform available while we expose the hypocrites one lie, one day at a time, because now they're caught and they cannot undo it. Remember, they're going to try to refold themselves back into the patriation and the growth of America. We already know who you are. We already have the receipts, and we already know who you signed on with. When all hands were on deck, you were here fighting against your own liberty and fighting against this country, because you're too dumb to know that when the communists take over, you're going to be the first to be killed, and you're going to be. And we know it, and you know it. So hopefully your affairs are in order. Hopefully you're not a person who's, oh God, if you have any anxiety. Here's another thing that people are doing. We have this, of course, suicide, and it's just another death based on the destability and lack of stability here in the United States and our current economic system that's causing people suicide by cop. They're hanging themselves. You realize that of percentage-wise of people who commit suicide, 26% do so via hanging, right? What we have now is we have the mainstream media going, black dude hung himself, 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 and they're saying, who's hanging all of these people? Because they make money on creating this scare tactic of lynching. Remember when you heard lynching the first time? That was because Kamala Harris was bringing across the lynching bill. Remember the second time you heard lynching? It was Juicy Smollett coming with the first attempt to kick this off, which was his fake lynching. That was the first time they tried to do this, and it failed. And they're going to do it again, and they're going to fail. They're going to do it again, and they're going to fail. And every time they do it, they expose themselves. The point of talking about suicide, folks, is that when you have a story in the zeitgeist now, all right, that hangings, who's doing it? Is it them or is it somebody else? It gives people who don't have a lot of hope and don't have a lot going in their lives an idea that it's something that they can join. And so you comics out there who are pushing these storylines know that the ripple effect that you're causing is causing more people to kill themselves. Think about that just from a institutional way to raise money. Okay? If you can take the murder of a person and merchandise that murder, take the money from the merchandising of the murder and spread it across one political party, from the mayor to the governor to the senators to the congresspeople from that one state, it shows them that there's a business to be made off of the murder, which more than likely gives them the right and the reason, well, not the right, but it gives them the reason and the political motivation. Oh, look, another murder. Oh, look, more money. Oh, look, more outrage. Oh, look, more money. Oh, my God, another murder. Oh, my God, another suicide. Oh, my God. Cha-ching, cha-ching, motherfucking cha-ching. God bless America, johntoll.net. Again, use the promo codes that you saw in here if you want to support what we're doing here. PC Death Squad shirts. I got hoodies on there. I got hats, and we're going to have more stuff coming up. What we're creating here at 4256 for those of us like-minded patriots. Heart center first. Gut aligned with the truth, what it is to be a real man or woman speaking the truth into reality, as opposed to the monkey mind and the soulless that are here, legitimate demons wreaking havoc and hell upon this world by taking your voice away, your vote away, your sovereignty away, your freedom away, and you're allowing to do it by kowtowing to their demand for a gesture, their demand for a mask, their demand to speak correctly, and their demand to follow along with their insurgency. And they have to do it because they have nothing else going on. God bless America.